thank you very much for having me here, and I thank the IAA for actually inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak. Now, when I do these things, I actually am fairly unashamed. I start off with a few plugs. This is a Series 9. It's the slimmest PC in the market. And it will probably cost you about 1,100 quid, depending on your favoured retailer. I also wanted to congratulate Angus on his birthday first and foremost. But actually, it was superseded by the fact he got an S3. He was already asking me beforehand how he actually gets it working and how can he get off his pay-as-you-go contract because he's desperate to surf the internet. So Angus, well done and good luck on your journey. The topic for me today is actually how do we get Samsung the most loved brand? Now, can I have a show of hands of people that actually have a Samsung device? 2, 3, 4. See, that's not bad. There was a good first hands up, and I kept a few of you for a few of those. When I interviewed for Samsung, I thought I had none. I went home, I had 4. Samsung is actually more present than you expect it to be, but I think the issue that we have is we haven't actually engaged consumers as being a true brand until I think very recently, and I'll give you a bit of the story. So if you look at Samsung, the brand, I think what we've been collectively talking about is we've been a commercial success. This business has grown phenomenally quickly in the last 10 years, and in Europe alone it's generating almost 26 billion in turnover. We're actually #1 market share in 10 out of the 15 product categories that we operate, and you probably couldn't even name what they are. And we're actually #1 preferred brand from consumers in 6 of those categories. We've also seen that the business has grown, so we were 42nd on the Interbrand valuation list back in 2001. This year, to a lot of internal celebration, as you might imagine, we've actually cracked it and got into the top 10, which is a phenomenal achievement. It really sets us a new target, and that target is we want to get in the top 5 by 2020. Now, you can't do that by just doing the same things that you've done over and over again. And as I said, I think most of you have probably come across Samsung as a brand in the past where people get the products. If you really go and research it, you'll work out technically we do great products. And in most of the categories we're in, they will probably get all the geeks saying that they're the best products in terms of their capability. So we've been very functional and product focused in what we're doing. And what we've done is engage people on a rational basis. What I want to talk about is we have to do 2 more things. One, first get at least emotional attachment with people. I think ultimately our desire and our need is to get to that top 5 position. We have to become an aspirational brand. So what I want to talk to you today is just one element that we've seen this summer that I think is really changing the shape of how the brand is viewed. And that was actually what we had was a phenomenal summer of sport and how we've worked on that to actually get emotional engagement up. I think everybody knows how important sport is. If you look across our European markets, it's the #1 passion point for a good chunk of the consumers that we talk to. And I think the issue with sports marketing is you can actually just badge yourself to an event, and that actually gets you awareness. What we're really tasking ourselves with is how do you take it to the next level? You've actually got to get a reason why you're there, and you've got to get a reason why people will engage with you more as a brand. So I'll show you a couple of examples of how we've tried to do that and move the brand forward over the last summer. It started off with football. I'd only been in the business for about a month, and the brief came in typical Korean management style, can you turn around a plan that gets on the back of all the football tournaments that are going on in the next 2 months? So, in true new boys style, I set my team on how do we get this going. And we landed on a campaign which was called Because It Matters. We actually focused on people are interested in football because it matters to them. We had football assets all around Europe, from local teams, grassroots stuff, right the way through to obviously the Chelsea sponsorship. But we harnessed it together with digital hubs, with a lot of work through bloggers, to actually get a real movement around why we were involved in football. And it generated a massive amount of buzz for us and actually hit 14 of our 16 subsidiaries. And this was all turned around in lightning speed. So that was the start of it. And I think football was really a a focus for a couple of months. But we all knew that we actually had to do more with it. We actually had some partnerships in place, so we did a lot of work with Xbox. And again, utilising their assets, we managed to get to 23 million extra contacts. And again, just by leveraging some of the assets that we'd actually already got at our fingertips. But the big one for us was actually we had the Olympics coming up. Now, if you're based in the UK, this was even more distorted because it was the first time London had had the Games. But this was a big opportunity because for us, the vision was this would be the first truly social Olympic Games. And what do we mean by that? It was actually the first chance that people were really interacting on medias that probably weren't around or as popular 4 years prior. And we went into this with this whole aspiration that it was everybody's chance to take part, and Samsung would be at the centre of your Olympic experience. I'll talk a little bit more about the specifics, but I'll show you a film to give you a sense of how it went.
I'm taking part.
I'm taking part.
I'm taking part.
Samsung Mobile, proud sponsors of the London 2012 Olympic Games.
Tonight this could be the greatest night of our lives. Let's make a new start. The future is ours to find. Can you see it?
Oh! Victoria Pendleton takes the gold medal!
See it in my eyes. Can you feel it now?
Gold medal is going to go to Laura Trott!
In your arms tonight.
Getting all exciting. It's all a bit mad at the moment, but yeah, looking forward to it.
The world come alive tonight. Stay close to me. Oh, hold your head high. Hold on, arms open wide. Yeah, the world starts to come alive when you stay close to me.
Run, walk or ride with the app, and Samsung will help a good cause.
Could be the greatest day of our lives. Today this could be the greatest day of our lives. You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but how your bullets ricochet. Shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, ricochet. You take your aim. Far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall.
I think you get to admire brilliance.
Far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium.
For every mile you cycle, walk or run, Samsung will also donate £1 to charity.
I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
Thank you very much, and I hope you took part in at least some of that activity. I think one of the interesting things was the team was so excited by this opportunity. I said, can you get the video under 3 minutes? It was actually 4.5 because they didn't want to take anything out. But I think that shows the pride that people had around how they'd actually shifted the consumer's perception of Samsung and how it was interacting with them because it was actually engaging them. Now, this went beyond the UK for us. We had a number of markets that were adopting pretty much the full plan that the UK did. And even when markets were selective in their use of it, they made it very local. So the whole European organisations has done phenomenally out of this programme. But it didn't end there for us. We were actually one of the 3 people that remained for the Paralympics. And I think, interestingly, this was probably totally underestimated in terms of the impact that this could have. I actually had the pleasure of going to a Paralympics event, and I had athletes saying, are people paying people to come and watch us do this? It actually still makes gives me goosebumps when I say that, because they were so proud that that many people went to watch. Now, I'll show you a video which we pulled together here. They actually got 5.1 million views on YouTube. And again, I think it just captured the emotion of what it means for a Paralympic to be part of that activity. So I'll show that now.
Come on, guys, get back to the baseline. It's too slow.
Vamos, vamos! Faz a passagem! Vamos, rapaz!
Go! Gotta move on now.
Come on! You look like a poodle, not a Rottweiler.
Venga, ¿qué pasa? Que no le va.
Vamos! Sai dessa posição! Vamos!
Faster! Stop! Not good enough.
Your body should be on that line.
Allez, fais-les,
Push it out, you lazy dick!
venga, venga, va.
You strong! You fast! You beautiful!
Nothing can stop you. You're made of metal.
Do it again.
10 more reps, let's go.
Valeu, até mais. Vamos pra outra.
Venga.
Tired? Get back in the pool.
So again, I think we sort of tried to move the needle on, what it meant to the Paralympics and us being part of that game. So I hope I've emotionally engaged you a little bit more on the Samsung brand. If you buy a product too, that would be great. Now, having gone the emotional route, I'm actually going to give you some stark figures, which is typical of a marketeer to bring you all down. But as a result of that activity, we grew our most preferred brand score by 40% over this year. If you look at markets that really got behind it, the UK, who's the home of the Olympics, was 55% up. Italy had a very strong programme at 49%. But some of our big countries, Germany and France, had phenomenal scores. And I think for a business, it just showed to us the power of changing people's perception of the brand can be done. And I was actually asked by Dina, what's the big challenge for us over the next year? I think we're on that mission to become an aspirational brand. So I think we're starting to engage people emotionally. I think the next aim is you give back society benefits, and I think this is where we can build on the Paralympics and actually make people proud to own you as a business or as a brand.